Hello and welcome to the Workouts for Older Men podcast. I am Skip LaCour. I'm so glad you are joining me for this episode of the Workouts for Older Men podcast. In today's podcast, I want to talk about motivation. How can you strengthen or even develop the drive to work out regularly, to build muscle, lose body fat, show up to the gym on a consistent basis, put forth the effort that you want to put into your workouts when you get there, how you can get yourself to eat the way you should, to lose that body fat, to fuel yourself, to have the energy, right, to be healthy and fit. How do you develop that drive and that motivation? I want to talk about that a little bit more about me. If you're new to the podcast, I have been obsessed, absolutely obsessed with personal development. Why we as people do the things we do. Why do we achieve success? Because I wanted more of it. I became obsessed. Why can't we get ourselves to do the things we know we should do? It's causing so much pain in our life. Intellectually, we can't stand it anymore, but we can't get ourselves to do the things we need to do. That started when I was 21 years old. I was brought to a Zig Ziglar seminar. I didn't know anything about this motivational stuff. My parents growing up, they lived a lifestyle going through the ups and downs of life and how they dealt with that. So I learned about, life skills by experiencing life and observing, my parents. But we never had these talks about the mind and how people are driven to success, how they may endure conditions in their life and settle for conditions that intellectually they are sick and tired of. How does that all work? And just put me on what's now, a 37-year journey of being obsessed with it. All the books that I've read, my background, I went on a motivational speaking tour right after my bodybuilding career. Before that, I worked with, Tony Robbins, seminars, training, all that kind of stuff. Just fascinated with it. I tell you, we all have areas of our lives that we really excel at. Maybe right now fitness is your thing. Maybe if you're the type of person to listen to this podcast, maybe you're in one of two categories. It could be a lot of categories, but let's just say that you're highly motivated to take it to a higher level, even though that you're a little bit older and you already look way better than most men your age, but something inside of you is driving you to take it to an even higher level. Congratulations for that. I get it. All right. Or, this is a desperate attempt. You're doing great things in your life. You're happy with your life. But, man, if you don't do something about this, health and fitness, you're going to suffer consequences. And this is maybe a desperate attempt that hopefully I can say something, all right, that's going to get you to talk about it, to just move more, eat less, right? Sounds so simple. You're a smart man, you've accomplished a lot of things in your life. You've raised kids. You taught them all about life. But in this one particular, for some reason, you can't get yourself motivated. Well, let me just talk about this. I think about my life, everything I've done well, everything I haven't done well, everything I've been really driven towards. And whatever I can say in this short podcast to get you thinking, how your brain is wired, how to get the most out of yourself. And through all the books and all the audio courses and all the seminars that I went through and all the talking to men and motivating them, whether I've motivated them to take certain areas of their life, fitness to the next level, or other areas as I talk to men. One thing is we're always really great at something. Think about what that is for you. And I hope you're not in a down place right now. It's so down that, nothing, Skip, I'm not good at anything, right? I don't think that's the case. But if that is, there is something that you put your willpower, focus, energy, and time, and you're better than most. Got to appreciate that. But if you really think about it, and it's something that, people admire you for, you admire yourself, and you went through that struggle and that pain. Isn't it true that you just did a little bit more often and kept on going more than anybody else? And when someone says, wow, you're so amazing at that, how did you do it? And again, you're proud of yourself, but you're thinking, anybody can do this if you just did the little things for enough period of time and you just kept on dealing with the setbacks and the self-doubt and all that, you too can work through it, right? I want you to think about it. What was it inside of you that made you so motivated and what you're so great at? Even if it's fitness right now, but you want to take it to another level. But maybe it's at your job, maybe it's with your family. Maybe you're a spiritual person, someone in your family, community, right? The man you are, and fitness isn't your thing. But what drove you, right? Was it because, hey, I mean, I know it feels great now and people admire you and you love helping other people with what you're so good at, right? It seems like second nature is now part of your identity. You couldn't imagine not doing those things. So you're already there. But think about what drove you. Was it this great place and this great feeling that you have about yourself and helping others? See, sometimes we tell ourselves that we're really pursuing all the great feelings. That's what we tell ourselves. That's what we seem to think in other people. Wow, that must be so great. They must have been driven by this amazing feeling that must have. But really, what got you to stay up late, go to bed early, stay up late, get up early, try one more time, deal with the self-doubt, put yourself out there, take risk, come back from those risks that you took that were just embarrassing and disappointing, but you got up anyway, right? If you really think about it, we are, as human beings, are more driven by pain. Feeling pain, avoiding pain, get the heck out of pain. I can't deal with this pain more than we are for the pleasure, the great feelings. And even though you may be at that one thing in life you're great at right now, and you're really basking in the pleasurable feelings, but what got you? Sometimes we're just instinctual. We don't really think about it. We just get it done. It's just second nature to us. But if you really track back, what fear, what extreme pain, what rock bottom did you imagine if you did not put in that extra effort, if you did experience that, was just unbearable, rock bottom. See, I really believe when it all comes down to it, we will tolerate a lot of stuff, even though intellectually we know we shouldn't be. We're capable of more. We're letting ourselves down. We're letting other people down. But somehow, some way, it's softened, or it's intellectual pain, but we don't really feel it emotionally. And it's usually because there's other great things about us in our life that we can focus on the great things in life, appreciate. And that's a great survival technique. You don't want to be down too much, but it takes the edge off the pain, the pain that we might be feeling. It's just intellectual pain. We don't really feel it in our heart and our soul. We can't really imagine. We really can't imagine the downside really happening. So we'll put it off. It's only when we can experience, oh my God, think about it. When did you do your best work? When did you keep on keeping on? When there was a deadline, when you were backed up against the wall and you had no other choices in your mind. Now looking back, maybe you had a lot of choices, but to you it was real. Because this world, what's pain, what's pleasure, what's an absolute must, I should do it, what's letting somebody down. Right? It's all subjective. We all just have a different reality. So when it comes to helping out men, going through the journey myself, and what I've learned in my years of life is that, sooner or later, to really make changes, and I don't care how old you are, right? You got to really feel, if I do not do this, not I might suffer pain or angst or let people down or whatever horrible things that you might, that it's not might, it's got to be real if I don't take action. So how does that relate to fitness? Well, everybody has a different situation. Everybody has a different situation. For a lot of men, let's say, let's keep it light at first, is that, really they've worked hard at their career and they need to still keep on working. They have financial worries, pain. Oh my God, did we save enough money? Are we going to have enough money when I'm older? Let's just talk about that. And so they've worked hard, or they have a job, they feel they have exhausted all those resources, and now to compete. Or the last thing is, I got to get in shape. I'll sell better. I'll be respected. I'll get that promotion. I'll have more energy. Whatever it is, I got to get in shape. I got to get my body. It's my last thing. I can't put that off any longer because people will respond to me this way, this way, this way. I'll have more energy. I'll have more confidence. I must get in shape because I don't want to deal with that financial disaster that's ahead. I know that could sound painful. Oh, man, I don't want to hear this, Skip. This is a downer, man. Well, that's the thing. If we soften, if we don't want to hear it, we don't do all the little things. All right? If it's your health and fitness as we get older, I know we as men, we just think we're going to live forever. Right? So we're not aging men. But like I'm telling you, as we get older, and I'm talking from a man in his early 60s, right? That you can't eat the same way you did. And I'm not talking about getting fat. I'm talking about health and cognitive thinking and energy to live your life, to hug your kids, to enjoy everything you've worked for in the coming years. You're right. We need that bone density. We need that muscle. Right? We got to work out. We got to eat right. Or it's not gonna be good later on in life, and that's coming. We may want to put up, but it's coming. Maybe your parents. Maybe they're not doing so good. Maybe they're not around anymore. Maybe the end, they didn't die, but it was 10 years. Of really not being there mentally or not being there physically, and suffering the financial drain and what it did to the family. I don't know what it is. All right. But somehow we're disconnected because we won't do the simple things like eating and working out. But, the bottom line is, if we all really thought about it, pain has driven us in the past. We put it off until it's too painful to not do something about it. And maybe that's what you need to do with your fitness. You have to run towards the pain. There's been many times where I thought in my life, whatever my challenge is, I said to myself, you know what? I will do excruciating pain and stress and sleep for 4 hours. I would do it for 6 months straight, go through that grueling physical, mental, emotional pain to focus on that, just so this problem, this challenge in life, I overcome it. Sometimes we got to just be willing to deal with the pain head on after you didn't work, after you didn't eat right, after you didn't lose this body fat. But we're all wired differently. What is your pain point that you've been putting off, that you've been softening? That you're saying, well, I'm a good guy, got family. There's more important things than my body. And you know what? I'm in good health, even though this, and this. And when we don't soften anymore, what if you really just hit the pain head on? I know it's painful. That's the point. We don't do that. That's why it's so tough to change, because we won't go in that dark place. We won't go in that dark place. But if we did, we'd be more likely to do the little things every single day until we make it over to the other side and finally create that change. Change is tough for these reasons. Just some things to think about. I'm probably bringing up more questions than answers when you can't take whatever it is you want to the next level, in this case, fitness. Here's some other things that can make it easier. Coaching. Get some coaching. Come with me for some accountability. When you have skin in the game, when you've scheduled, when you said, okay, I have to do it, having me and the structure that I set up for you over the weeks, so you have to do it. Or you have more to lose now. You're letting me down. You're letting yourself down. You're letting the program down. What you've invested in the coaching, you let it down. Sometimes we need that pressure so we won't soften. Well, I'm a good person, this and that, whatever. We need a little bit more accountability to get us to do what we need to do until it becomes a part of us. Here's the other thing with coaching is when you are certain with the strategy, it's still going to take work. You're still going to have to do the things you don't want to do. All right. But when it's not so massive, it's so confusing. There's so much thing. I think I've done everything. And someone convince you, if I can convince you as your coach, look, I understand it seems so simple, but do this, in this order, this much emphasis on this. All right. You still got to do the work, but when it's simplified and when you're on the journey, you know how your body changes, it's going to change, how it's not going to change, what a realistic time frame is, how to do it in a sustainable manner. Right? It gives you that more certainty and confidence to keep on keeping on, week by week by week. I can tell you, you're doing this right or making the adjustments. You have confidence that you're not doing it alone. You're not wasting your time. And you have more certainty. You're never going to be 100% certainty that it's going to pay off. So dealing with the real reasons why you must change, why you must eat right, why, whatever it is to you, what's going to happen in your future, who is your family going to let down? Can you think of your kids, your grandkids, if you have them, your wife? If you check out early because you didn't take care of yourself, deal with that pain. Get on the path of doing it. Get with me for coaching. Get the accountability for a series of weeks. Get the knowledge that you need to simplify the process so when you're doing it, there's not so much uncertainty. So you can use that pain to drive you to follow through. You do it for enough time, you can change. You can make that happen. All right, so that's going to do it for this Workouts for Older Men Live. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.